Colts-Rams, which was, in a way, I think, the game of the day, just with the wild swings at the end. But the story was Puka Nacua, who is wide receiver 1 in a tier by himself at this point. What's crazy about Nacua, Matthew, is that so he goes 13 for 170. He finally gets a receiving touchdown, 15 targets. It just feels incredibly sustainable. Like, he's not dependent on deep throws.
No.
It's just, it all comes in rhythm. He can't be stopped because he's so good against zone and he beats man and he lines up in the slot north of 40% of the time. So just can't contain him. So is there a player in fantasy, not just wide receiver, anyone that you would want over Puka Nacua going forward?
No.
Yeah.
He'd be, if we drafted today, he's the number 1 overall player. The only concern with him is health.
Yep.
Can he stay healthy? Because, obviously he's missed time, but he's had at least 22.8 fantasy points in every game so far this year. Here's his current 17-game pace, just to give you an idea of how insane this is. 179 receptions for 2,133 receiving yards. And, by the way, he has 42 catches so far this year. That has tied an NFL record in history of all players for the most receptions in the first 4 games of a season. And that's with Devontae Adams still getting his.
Yeah, seems good. Less good, Daniel Jones, who has come down to earth a little bit. He just didn't seem to have the radar on the deep ball at all yesterday. After averaging 26 points in his first 2 games, he's just fallen off a cliff lately and ends the game with a bad pick yesterday. Do you think it's the hype was too premature? Where do you think Jones settles in?
I think a high-end QB2, a usable, low-end. I'm not as worried. This is a tough game. By the way, if A.D. Mitchell doesn't fumble at the 1 yard, like just a complete boneheaded
Doesn't have the
play,
holding penalty. It costs them the game as well. It takes back a Jonathan Taylor 60-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, I just think the narrative's different. But just specifically to that's right now Daniel Jones 10.4 fantasy points, QB 24. But A.D. Mitchell gets in there. That's an extra 4 points. Like it just suddenly that is probably like QB 15, and you're not as concerned. Shout out to you, by the way, on Fantasy Football Pregame, where you said, "Hey, your desperation play was A.D. Mitchell filling in the Alec Pierce, the deep ball role." And again, you can't predict the guy's going to have like a brain fart and fumble as he's crossing the goal line.
The joy of fantasy, he's actually had a good fantasy day for A.D. Mitchell. It's just he had the worst possible football game that you can imagine.
Yeah,
I agree. Better days ahead for Daniel Jones. Pass rush for the Rams was out of its mind. They had a backup lineman. The Colts, Alec Pierce was out. It'll get better for Daniel Jones with more matchups.
By the way, Raiders and home games to the Raiders and the Cardinals are the next 2. So Daniel Jones should get better and better quick.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.